All right.
Okay. Can you ask that question again, brother?
I was saying, if somebody was to came to you and said, "What's the path of in your lineage? What's the path to awakening? What's the map to that?"
That is a very, very important question. He asked, what is the path in our lineage to awakening? And our path is based on what we call the Mooric Triangle. The Mooric Triangle is based off of love, work, and knowledge. Or love, service, and knowledge. Now let me explain that. Our way is based off of these three principles. Love for Allah, love for all the prophets, love for the teachings, love for the community you live in, love for your family, love for yourself, and love for your sheikh, love for your teacher, love for your fellow disciples. Our way is the foundation is based off of love. When I went to Senegal the first time in 1996, I stepped into my sheikh's house. He said to me, as soon as you step foot in this house, you are blessed by Allah. And he said, the only one closer to Allah than you is the one who loves Allah more than you. So, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, he said, my religion is love. They asked the sheikh, what's your religion? He said, my religion is love. In other traditions, they call it bhakti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you don't know, I'm the first one to tell you, Krishna and Prophet Muhammad is the same being. Krishna, Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus and Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba is the exact same being. And guess what? You are Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, and Muhammad, and you the sheikh too. The sheikh is the outer manifestation of your inner potential. So never ever put the sheikh up. In our orders, we don't put the sheikh up high. I mean, we love and we honor and revere the sheikh, but we know because one time the sheikh came to a disciple in a dream, and the sheikh was her name Aisha. She told me, I think she don't mind me telling this. Aisha said the sheikh came to her in a dream, and the sheikh was crying. He was crying. She said, Sheikh, why are you crying? Why are you crying? She said, I'm crying. The sheikh said, I'm crying because all of the disciples love me, but they don't know that they can become just like me. So he's saying, don't love and honor him, but remember at all times, the sheikh is you in full manifestation. The sheikh is the outer manifestation of your inner potential. Okay? So he says, always have love for the sheikh. Because when you love the sheikh, you're loving your true self in realized form. So the first, and Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, he gave 8 principles of a true disciple. I'll teach on that one day. But the first of the 8 principles is love. And he said, with this love, you will have he said, if you have the love, oh, why did I say Hare Krishna? Let me rewind the tape. I love Krishna. I went to many Krishna devotee services at the Krishna Bhakti Temple. And they say in the Krishna consciousness movement that in the Kali Yuga in which we now live, or the age of darkness, there's only 2 forms of practice that can give you Krishna consciousness or give you full enlightenment. And the Bhakti movement says from Prabhupada and the Hare Krishna movement, the only 2 forms in the Kali Yuga or the age of darkness that work are bhakti, extreme love for God, and mantra, reciting God's names. So that's what they say. And in the Sufi order, it's almost the exact same thing. Love and recite the zikrs that I'm going to give you. So love is the first principle. So after love, we have service. Service means service, as Noble Drew Ali says, this is for the upliftment of fallen humanity. It's no good to stay in the mosque and pray all day and you got brothers and sisters that's on the street homeless. You have to do some type of service. And Jesus says, when you do it for the least of my people, you do it for me. So we are from the philosophy called non-dual Advaita. I don't know how many people heard of this. You heard of non-dual? What? What's your name, sister?
Maya.
What do you know about non-dual Veda?
I know about like Advaita Vedanta
Yes.
and Sankaracharya.
Oh! You know Sankaracharya? He wrote my favorite book, oh God, Crest Jewel of Enlightenment. You know Crest Jewel of Enlightenment? What the fuck? I done met a motherfucker that know Sankara. Where are you from?
Well, my family's from South India.
Okay. I have many secret books that I don't give disciples because it's beyond their comprehension. One of the most secret books I have is by Sankara. It's called The Crest Jewel of Enlightenment. It's a non-dual Advaita Vedanta philosophy. What he's saying is exactly what the Sheikh is saying in West Africa. That there is only one being in the universe, and we say La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah means everything is an illusion and only God is real. So when you're feeding people, and let me go back to this. The Prophet Muhammad said that Allah said one time, if you go visit a sick person, you will find me in the hospital. If you give clothes to a homeless person, you gave clothes to me. If you give food to a homeless person, you gave food to me. So what is he saying? If you go see somebody sick in the hospital, you came to see me. If you gave clothes to somebody who needed clothes, you gave me clothes. This is God talking. And if you fed somebody, you fed me. Now, do God eat food? But he's saying that you gave me some food. This is the non-dual Advaita philosophy that says, the entire universe is nothing but the objectification of your own consciousness. Get this one point from what they're saying. Everybody in this room is an objectification of you. Everybody, everything you see is your consciousness objectified in the so-called physical realm of Maya or illusion so that you can see it. So the only being that exists is you. And I shouldn't say this on camera, but you are older than God. The concept of worshiping a God came after the self. This is the self. Without a self, there's no concept of worship. Who worships God? The self does. So the self was always here. God was a concept that we created because we felt like we needed to worship a being. But that is a fallacy because Sufis say only Allah can worship Allah. Only Allah can pray to Allah. And only Allah can recite God's name. Because we are extreme non-dual Advaitist people. La ilaha illallah says everything is an illusion and only Allah is real. One Sufi sheikh, he said, I spent 20 years talking to Allah, but my disciples thought I was talking to them. I spent 20 years talking to God, but my students thought I was talking to them. So that is the reason we do service is because you're not giving food to someone who's separate from you. When you serve humanity, you're serving yourself. That homeless person on the street, that's you. The person dancing in the strip club at night, that's you. The person who's $1 million driver, I'm telling you, the sheikhs say don't ever think you better than nobody. One Sufi master, Cheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, he passed a homeless alcoholic on the street. And now this sheikh did miracles. I can tell you some of his miracles. One day I'll tell you about Cheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. He did so many miracles, it's ridiculous. He's walking with his disciples through a street, and there's a homeless alcoholic on the sidewalk. And the sheikh said, this man is better than me. The disciples said, what? How the sheikh say this homeless man, he ain't did no prayers. He ain't did no mantras. He getting drunk every day. And the sheikh said, he better than me. They said, sheikh, you have to explain this. He said, I'm a sheikh today, but Allah could take all my knowledge and turn me into a homeless man that's an alcoholic, and take that homeless alcoholic, Give him all supreme knowledge and make him a sheikh today. So from that perspective, everything you see is you, and you must serve yourself. The greatest service, as they say, charity starts at home. So when you give, okay, they say bhakti and the love and the service. So ours is love and service by doing the work for the Sufi order. Try to find out how you can do some work to bring people to know about this path. They say the best work you can do for the sheikh is just tell people about him. Learn some of the stories, tell people about the sheikh, try to bring people to this way so they can take initiation and do that type of service by feeding people as a group. So that's the service. Now, the more love you have, this is an infinite triangle. The more love you have, the more service you want to do. When you do service for God, he will give you knowledge. But we got two types of knowledge. We got, where is it? We got ilmul kalam. Ilmul kalam is something that came from a book or a pen. This is a kalam, a pen. Ilm means knowledge. You got ilmul kalam, which is you can write and find in a book. But there's another branch of knowledge called ilmul laduni.
You said ill mean knowledge?
Ilm means knowledge. ILM means knowledge. Kalam means pen. Ilmul kalam is knowledge that somebody wrote with a pen. That's good. But there's another hidden knowledge called ilmul laduni. Ilmul laduni is an unwritten knowledge that's not, my sheikh said, if it's in a book, it's not a secret. He says point blank, you know they published that book, The Secret. He saw it one day. He started, this is the funniest thing. He's from West Africa. He's from West Africa. His laugh is so funny. He said, this book is a secret. He's laughing. I told him, Sheikh, they made millions of dollars off of this book. He said, that's so funny. That's so funny. That's when he said, anything that's in a book, it's not a secret. And I tell people, you don't know anything about God until you know something about God that you know you can't tell anyone. Because each of us have to have what I have called the God experience. You have to have, okay, you love God, you know God, you must experience Allah. This mystical experience you have is between you and Allah directly. And it's going to be something that happened that you feel with all your five senses. And when you have this God experience, if you try to tell people, they won't, this motherfucker crazy. They won't be able to understand you because the spirits, Osho said, a Buddha will always be misunderstood. Osho says the Buddha will always be misunderstood because Buddha is explaining concepts from beyond the mind to people who are trying to understand it with the mind. So your God experience will be an experience that you have that's beyond your mind. But you know it's real, but you can't explain it to nobody because you could try to tell your wife, tell you, but when you're trying to explain it, if they understand it, it ain't no real experience. You see, you're going to have some, listen man, I done went through the fucking universe to the sound. This place is music, but it's gaps in the music, and you can travel through the gaps in the music to a capsule in the sky. And at the top of the universe, it's a capsule going into another universe, and you can look up in that capsule, but if you go in that capsule, you leave this universe and go into another universe. Now, who can understand that? But this is a real experience that happens. So that's when you get ilmul laduni, which is unwritten knowledge. And there is something called wilayat. Now, this knowledge, you love God first. You do the service, you work. When you do the work, he's going to give you the ilmul laduni. And this knowledge is a form of light and knowledge together. So the Sheikh, Allah, the angels will give you a direct knowledge to your heart that's not in the book. But when the knowledge comes, it's going to be in the form of light And inside that light will be the knowledge of God.
It will be kind of like what the sadhus do. They get like a boom from, they get like these cedars that come out, they'll grant them certain
cities or something.
Cities.
Yeah. You get, that's why it's called, this is a path of illumination. And that's why it's called the enlightenment. Because it's actually a real light that you experience coming to your heart. And that light will have knowledge of Allah, knowledge of the universe, knowledge of yourself, knowledge of the unseen realm. And when that knowledge comes, you have more love. You're going to want to do more service. You're going to want to get more of that knowledge. So it's an infinite circle of love, work, and knowledge. Love, service, and knowledge. But remember, the two aspects of the knowledge are, it comes in the form of light, and in that light is ilmu laduni, or unwritten knowledge. So our path is based on those three: love, work, and knowledge. And the work is synonymous to service, and that knowledge is Arabic. They call it walayat, because walayat is, what's the two parts of the knowledge that's going to come to you? Unwritten and unwritten. And when it comes, it comes in two forms. It comes in light, and what else? What's inside the light? Now, yeah. So imagine one time I was in Senegal at my sheikh's house in the holy city of Touba, laying on the bed. A red light came in the room like Star Wars. Woo! Glowing. I'm looking at, do I run out this motherfucker? What am I supposed to do? It's a red light coming at me. Literally, a red ball of light came, boom, hit me on my head. I was like orgasmic. From a light that came in the room in broad daylight in the middle of the day. I wasn't asleep. I'm awake, and that light moving slow. And I'm like, they say this is the path of no fear. And first thing my mind is saying, I don't know if this is positive energy. They always say red is not good. It's a red light coming in the room. I've seen many lights on this path. One thing I'll tell you, when I give you the zikr, every Bismillah Rahman Rahim you say is like drinking light. This is a path of light. The Prophet Muhammad says there's 70,000 veils between man and God. But he said these veils are veils of light. So the only thing between you and your realization is light. So you have to accumulate more light so that you can become one with the light. Right now, let's say all of us have the ability to let's say this is an 80-watt light bulb. Well, let's say the light of Allah is 1,000 watts. So as you do the prayers, as you do the mantras, as you do the service, you're accumulating more light to raise your 80 volts up to 1,000 volts. And as you're going up the scale of light, you may experience trances or mystical states. Something, I seen a brother in Africa at the ceremony. They have something called a howl. A howl is a mystical state that you enter in because let's say you're conducting. In the church, they would call it the Holy Ghost. In Sufism, we have the Holy Ghost, but it's called howl in Arabic. In the Sheikh, I used to get it all the time. You might start crying for no reason. You might start just start laughing. People, but in Africa, you see it all the time. People go into these trances when they sit with the master. So, but sometimes it can be kind of violent. So I was at a ceremony with the Sheikh and they was chanting, Allah, 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 Allah. They were doing this for hours. One of the disciples, he stood up, and I was like, he about to blow. He stood up, boom, start going like this. And they keep chanting. Everybody know he gone. He went in the mystical state. He's looking, and me and the brother's like, we looking at his eyes, he gone. He's on another elevator. The brother, when he blew a fuse, we like, he grabbed a stop sign. The stop sign had the cement, the pole, and he grabbed the stop sign, picked it up, Start banging himself in the head. But he didn't feel it because he was gone. Personally, one time. I think that's enough. I don't want to spook you.
You ain't spooking me.
I ain't trying to bang myself in the head with no bricks now. You know what? I think I'd rather watch BET and drink a beer or something. That shit right there. You talking about, niggas? I'm good. I don't want to be. One time, I was on. They got these small metal buses in Senegal, and I pray Allah I don't start crying. I'm gonna tell you one of my experiences with that type of state. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba's mother. Oh God, I'm trying not to lose it. Y'all are Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba's mother was a holy woman. She was a saint. His mother was named Mam Darrah. In Arabic, her name would have been Mariama. His mother was the holiest woman on the planet Earth at the time of her son Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba's conception. In the folklore, or in what they call the griot tradition of West Africa, the griots say his mother was Mary, the mother of Jesus, reincarnated in West Africa. I'm saying it on camera because if you go to Senegal, they're going to say Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba's mama was Mary, the mother of Jesus, reborn again in Africa. It's time for these things to come out in the public. Now, Muslims don't want to hear that. But Muslims like, oh, did he just say that? He can't. Astaghfirullah. Ain't no such thing as reincarnation in Islam. But go to Africa, they're going to tell you some of these people is coming back.
Oh, absolutely.
That's just, I'm sorry, Mr. Muslim. Maybe you shouldn't be watching this video. So yeah, when you do zikr, you kind of like, you little bit ecstatic. And it's Ramadan and we fasting. So I'm telling the truth. I would not lie in Ramadan while I'm fasting. Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba's mother was the mother of Jesus reincarnated in the holy city of Senegal. And she only lived to be 33 years young. She was a very, very mystical woman. I can tell you about her. But she's a Muslim saint. And she's the only woman saint in West Africa that people make a pilgrimage to her grave once a year. She's so holy. There's a lot of holy sheikhs that people go to their grave for blessing. His mother, Mam Darrah, they make a pilgrimage to her city in Porakan. Millions of people go to see her every year because they know at least once a year, anything you pray for at her grave is answered. So a lot of people, they go there at least once a year if they got a family problem with somebody in their family that's sick or they need a new house. They go to her grave and pray for it because it's a holy site. So me, I didn't get to go to her grave yet. But this year I was in Senegal. I was planning to go, but I didn't get to go. I'm riding on the bus. It's a little metal bus. It's a blind lady outside the bus begging for money. But she's singing a song about his mother. Mam Jara Jara, Sona Jara Jara, Santa Mam Jara, Mam Jara, Mam Jara, Mam Jara, Mam Jara, Santa Mam Jara, Buddha Mam Jara, Mam Jara, Mam Jara, Mam Jara, Mam Jara, Buddha Mam Jara, Santa Mam Jara, Deda Jeffa Mam Jara. So she's outside the bus singing this song about his mother in the time when I'm supposed to go, but I've been too busy. I was teaching English over there and studying the Sufi path. So I'm on the bus and I hear it. It's like her voice turned into a flame like a match. And I'm about to lose it. I hear the flame coming. I'm about to lose it. I hear the flame coming. It's her voice, but her flame turned into a fire like a match. And I'm like, I'm about to lose it. I'm about to lose it. That flame hit my ear. I screamed and jumped up and started banging my head on the top of the bus. Like Michael Jordan. All I could do was, the people was like, what the hell? Because they look like this guy's from America. He's losing his mind. So I started screaming, Mom, I'm coming! on the bus like this. My God, I'm coming! I'm coming! Because I was gone. And the people was like, knock it down. They were saying, come back. It's okay. So that's one experience that happened to me. So this mystical state, it can happen to you, and you look quite foolish when it happens. Anybody got a question or comment?
I would say a comment. But this was an experience that I had at my house. So there's always like spacecrafts flying above the house.
I believe it.
And then there was one incident where it was one that was just orange and it was just flying slow. Well, I normally have like what they call a laser beam. And at nighttime when I go out and meditate, I normally hit the sky. And I would call on benevolent beings, you know what I'm saying, to show themselves and prove on your presence. And some days I might get like you'll see something. Sometimes they might just come out, show themselves, and then just go. You know what I'm saying? Or some days you could just feel something around you, the presence, but they don't manifest themselves. So that was just like when you're talking about that ball of light hitting your head. And I feel there's different levels to everything. You know what I'm saying? That can't be explained. I can't tell this to everybody.
Yes, you can. They'll be like, what are you on?
You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm like only tell my girl and few of my friends. That's about it.
The ones that
know digest it. Anybody else, I tell myself. But I understand what you were saying, that light.
That light can come, yeah.
I've seen right on the lakefront up there, back in like 2010, I witnessed standing on the
shaking the ball. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
And we was chilling on the lake, ball of light floating. I'm like, yo, y'all see this? It's like, yeah. Like, it's not making no noise, it's not on the water, it's not in the sky, it's just like eye level to where we just floating. So I looked back to see if there was more. I looked back, gone. You know what I'm saying? Gone. And then I looked further to my left and I see mad police lights and fire trucks. And like just a bunch of stuff going on over there. I was like, okay. I see. It's time for me to leave. I saw, I know, it's time to go.
I know it's time to go. Point blank. Anybody else got a question or comment? Anybody want to ask something?
One more question.
I love questions, please.
This is what I want to ask you. When it comes to like gyms, and I heard you made the statement that I think you said it was like 40,000 of them.
8,000. Yeah, 4 8s. 8,888 different species of gyms.
So there's some that's good, there's some that's disagreeable, and there's some that's evil, right?
Yes.
Because
they got they got Muslim gyms, they got some Buddhist gyms, they got some Hindu gyms. Gyms is like people. They have families, they get married, they have children, they have houses. They could be malevolent, they could be good, they could be bad, they could be evil. And so there's different types of gyms.
Because I have another friend, he's Islam. Orthodox, but
sorry to hear that, but
he tells me like, you know what I'm saying.
I love all Muslims. I do.
He tells me like,
sorry, I shouldn't say that. I love all Muslims, but
he told me
I'm so sorry.
The Sufi, because I told him, I said,
he said Sufi is haram, probably, didn't he?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
And he's like, man, it's like a bunch of foolishness, you know. So I'm like, why would you say that, brother? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's on different levels.
Yeah.
You know.
They can't see it.
So I can't talk to him.
Never.
I can't talk to him.
I tell people, I live in Philadelphia where they got some real crazy Muslims that don't like Sufis at all. And one brother, he came to our gatherings in Philly. And he had took his initiation, was studying. He went to one of the mosques in Philly and told the people, I took my Shahada, I'm studying Sufism. They said, what? He said he almost had to back out the mosque. So I tell people, when you take this path, talk to non-Muslims. Don't talk to Muslims about this too much. Because a lot of the Muslims, my sheikh in Africa, he said in one gathering, you know, we say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, which means, oh Allah, protect us from shaitan. One day the sheikh said, oh Allah, protect us from the Muslims. Yeah. And everybody started laughing. And he said, oh, we thought he was going to say, oh, Allah protect us from the devil. That day he said, oh, Allah protect us from the Muslims. Because what we have, it looks foreign to them. They can't, it's easy. The people of Kabbalah, the esoteric people of Judaism, Kabbalah, the mainstream Jews, they don't like them.
Right.
The Gnostic Christians, the mainstream Christians, they don't like them. And so any esoteric tradition in any religion is frowned upon by the mainstream people of that tradition because they cannot see it's two sides to every coin. This is one way and this is one way. They can't see that it has to be an inner. And then the Quran says Islam is revealed in stages. So if Islam is revealed in stages, where are these stages that it speaks of? The stages of Islam are Shariat, Tariqat, Hakikat, and Marifat. The first stage of Islam is what we call Shariat. Shariat is the outer law. If you steal, we cut your hand off. That's Islamic law is called Shariat. That's the outer law. All of the Muslims have the outer law, but they don't have the inner law. Okay? That's the issue. They have the outer law, but not the inner law. Islam is good for developing your outer character, but the real Islam develops your inner being. So the Shariat is the outer law. The Tariqat is the second level, and Tariqat means Sufi pathway. The Shariat starts when you take Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, which we'll get to that today, inshallah. The inner path, the Tariqat starts when you find a sheikh and you take the initiation or bayat, which we can do today, inshallah. After the Shariat Tariqat, you have something called Hakikat. I'm going to give this to somebody, and I hope y'all can make a copy of this. So, the outer Islam is what we call Shariat, okay? Shariat. And that is the law. Then you have something called Tariqat. Tariqat is a pathway going toward the center of the circle, okay? The Tariqat starts when you meet a sheikh and take initiation. Now, once you go toward the center, there's another station called Shariat Tariqat Hakikat. Haqiqat. Now, Hakikat is the truth of reality. So the outer law is a bunch of dogma and rituals and things that, you see the Muslims praying 5 times a day. We fasting today. All that's from the Shariat, the outer law. But the Tariqat, when you take